How are we going, everybody? I'm doing my rose pruning at the moment. I've done some of my bush roses, standard roses, and now I've got my climbing rose, which is pruned slightly different to your typical bush rose. You're not going to do an open vase shape. What I like doing with my roses and my technique, now this one has been let to grow too much, and I'm going to cut it back and get it ready for our spring growth. And the way I like to do it is find myself the leaders, the runners. Now I've got multiple ones going on here. I've got one big one here, and you can see it's twisting and turning in there. Now to my right, that is, there's another one here, and there's another one over there. So 3 main ones I have, but look, there's also a little one there and another one here. So it's almost like a bush rose. If you look down here, it's opening up. Now I don't want that to happen. If anything, just looking at it now, I'm going to remove that bottom there, because what I need to do is train the main leader. So let's take this one for an example. See this shoot growing out here? If you don't cut that back, it'll continue to grow and become wispy and overhang and arch into other areas. So what you need to do is cut all these little shoots coming off the main stem back to 2 buds. That's what I do. 2 or 3 buds. Sometimes you can go back to 1 bud, but really a couple of buds is quite safe. So for example there. Now here I've actually got 1 and more buds there, so I might cut it back a bit shorter. That's a little bit long for me. And this is basically the way I would do my little climbing rose and try and get it to the other side. If you don't cut it like that, it'll stop climbing and just clustering or clumping up in masses like this. So for example now, let's continue with this little theory that I have. And I'm going to cut it back there, and there's a little double shoot there. I'm just going to do that. That's as far as I go with that. And again here, this one is back to 1 bud, like that, and work my way around. Now I'm not going to go this slow, I'm going to pick up my pace. And see discoloration going on there? That's basically stress in the root zone there with phosphate, lacking phosphate in the soil, excessive moisture, not enough airflow or sunlight, because we've got the hedge here. This is the afternoon sun, and the fact that the sun sits low at the moment, it gets very little sun. It actually goes around the house, around to the north side, gets a couple of hours, and that's not enough to keep the plant dry. So phosphate, and the best way to do that is black grit, and you know that already. So apply your black grit, especially for your roses, to get big, strong, healthier blooms. Now all I'm doing here, we've got dieback. Look at that. That's all dieback. And you can see this whole stem is not looking really healthy. See, that's dead there. I can cut it right back to that little bud if I want. But like I said earlier, if I pull this out, it's already wired up here. Okay, take that off. And there's a hook there as well. So this must have been good in its season. So that's going off. No good to me. It's already looking cleaner. Now I don't want, and this is the idea, to be able to get the rose to grow as many flowers close to the main stem itself, as many all the way along. You don't want it shooting out spurs like that or side laterals like this and clumping up a foot away, or 40, 50 centimeters away. So that needs to be cut right back to here, like that, and hopefully in springtime that'll burst out, maybe grow another 3 or 4 inches and 100 mil before you get a flower on it. If you don't cut it back that far, like this one here, look at that, right? Die back there. If I don't cut this right back to 1 or 2 buds, it'll keep growing from the tips, and there it is there. That's where it's growing from. That's the most dominant sprout, or even one over here, I think. Am I seeing that correctly? No, that's a broken branch. Let's go back to this one. But that is, look how far away it is from where I cut it. So if it starts growing from here, we're already way too far for a climbing rose, and it's going to turn into a bush rose, folks. So what we're going to do is cut it right back again. Now, look at this. This is going to get messy. It clumps up here. I've got my curry leaf plant here, or curry plant. Delicious. Anyway, so we're going to cut all this off. I don't want this. This is going to annoy me. See, that's growing in there. I will cut that away, cut that off like that. I like a little bit more order in my rose. So let's get rid of the understory, as I call it. And just in case you thought I've forgotten, metho. Okay, put it in this pocket. There we are. So keep cutting, remove this, remove that. Like that. Look at this up here. Look at this mess up here. Look at that clump. Most of that's dead wood. You don't sit there cutting back to what? to this stem here, which is just discoloured and looking really weak and flimsy, so we get rid of that completely. We've got this clump down here, cut that off. It's nice and green. Okay, actually I can get there. I've got my anvil number ones. Oh yeah, and this should get painted over, folks. That needs to get painted over with a tree stack paint or prune paint if you like that, or even hydrated lime. All right, so we've done it here, nice and clean here as well. Let's clean up the rest and straighten this up. Look at that, we've got a knuckle going on here, so it's not going straight anymore. We're gonna have to try, well, no, that's not a strong one, that's a good leader there, so we're gonna cut this one off there, like that. Cut all that off, don't need that, don't need that. What have I done there? There. All right, we've cut this all back. Now, the hardest part is trying to train something that's out of shape into a shape that you want it to, look, it's not gonna work, is it? There we go, that goes there. But that's pointing up, look at that. Going in the wrong direction. Bugger me. I haven't got the heart to cut that off, but it's not the way it needs to go. Oh, will it work? Or should I just try? Look, I've got the other two, and then that's got to bend back down to there like that and get tied up. Oh, look at that, it's staying. There we are. So that's one, two more to go. What a mess. Okay, we've cleaned this up a little bit. Got to pull it out now, slowly like that, and feed it up on top afterwards. That's the middle one. Let's get this one out. Look at that. It's been fed through here for no reason. That's kinked over. We don't need that. Get there. Let's clean this up. So 1, 2, and 3. We need to bring that, 1 second. Oh! All right, that goes there. We'll bring this around for now. This is not the way to tie up a rose, folks. Not with these wires like this, but I didn't bring any cable yet because I wasn't expecting to finish this off so quickly. There. All right, well, you keep coming off then. I can't stop you. That's going to go there, and this is going to go across there. They're looking better now, folks. I'm straightening this up. I like my leaders to be nice and straight like that there. It needs one more string at the top, but for now we've just got the main structural shape going. We'll pull this one in as well. This is where it's kicking out, so we'll just tie it to this part here. This is what you're going to do with your climbing rose. If you ever go to the races or anything like that and you see beautiful arbours there full of roses, they're pruned regularly. Yes, fertilising is important, spraying is important to control. High potash fertiliser, our liquid gold's full of potash as well. And our black grit, folks, that is a key to every plant's success. Putting lots of black grit around the base for the phosphate, the calcium, the silicate, magnesium, and it's all natural formed. It will do nothing but good for your plants. So get some black grit in, cut your roses, train them up like that. I've got 3 litres going on, and now that there's no side laterals, not too many of them, it'll keep growing all the way down to the other side. I'm going to have to turn them back up to bring it back up again. Now you're going to get a lot of new growth coming out of these nodes along the main stem. See, all these are potentially able to grow. So any of these will come up and you'll end up having a lot of this stuff. That's been damaged, but it doesn't matter. It's okay for now. Let's see how these grow. They'll probably clump up to about here, all the way around, but it's going to be nice and tight rather than a big bush. So prune your roses, get ready to spray them with the Bluestone or our disease control pack. CGWS has also a protection and black grit around the base to strengthen the roots, and we've got a special going on, 65% off on the black grit. Also, if you want to get a small amount, we've got 1.5 kilos with that easy hand spray for only $14.95. They're normally $29, $34, $35, less than half price. You ain't going to get a better deal than that on Vasili'sGardens.com. From me, Vasili Maresi.